Welcome into episode number 15 of Cashin The Check. I am your co-host.
Co-host.
Or are you the host this time?
Oh,
or am I the co-host this time?
Heck yeah, I'm the host.
I'm just kidding. I'm your host. I'm your host, Tyler Asher from the Small Business Development Center.
I am Tiffany Anton from the Biz Foundry.
How you been? I feel like it's been a while.
I know it's been like 2 weeks.
I've been some places.
I know October was a little crazy. I feel like a 2-week fall break is a little weird because it just feels like life stops a little bit. Like I'm kind of like, are we supposed to do stuff in this time?
No, we don't do anything.
I had really a lot of plans that like the second week of fall break, my kids were at their dad's house. I was like gonna just work 12-hour days.
How'd that work out for you?
I did not work 12-hour days. Just.
Jeff,
spoiler
hope you don't
alert.
listen to this episode. That was ours. Like we went on our trip and then come back and wife's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get all this done." You know, we were talking about things she wanted to do around the house, like while we were on the trip. We'd come back and I would come home and she was like, "Yeah, I took a 2-hour nap today." I'm like, "What? Well, I thought you were doing all this stuff."
Nah.
She was like, "No, I just think." I was like, "Oh,
you know,
okay.
you get in the couch and you turn the Netflix on, and I am like I cannot work from home kind of person.
I can't either. I can't do it.
I want to either.
Maybe that's a new topic.
Okay,
write that down. Working from home.
Working from home.
See, that's the way this podcast is. We start talking about stuff, and they're like, "Oh, topic. Hello."
That's what I'm here for, to take the notes and do the secretarial stuff. So
ducks in a row. Let's jump right in.
Quack 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 quack.
Luke, you got to. I need a mute button, dude. Like, you got to help me out.
Okay. We need somebody for this role who is responsible. Not a problem, sir. Every time something went wrong at my old job, my manager told me I was always responsible. Why did the donut maker retire?
He had too many holes in it?
He was tired of the whole business. I think I'm struggling a little bit today. Is it a Monday? I feel like it's a Monday. It's not, but it feels like
it's
it.
like the end of the week.
This one made me laugh. Hold on. I told a female colleague that she drew her eyebrows too high. She seems surprised.
Pretty sure that's an HR issue. D will be in here in a minute.
No, that's, yeah. Business is up and down at the moment. I sell yo-yos.
I think you've done that one before.
Listen, I stayed in such an exclusive hotel on our last business trip that even room service had an unlisted number.
Oh
I don't know. Listen, I don't make them. I just find them on the internet. So let's say one more. If a neighboring business puts up a sign saying lowest prices, simply erect your own sign saying main entrance.
Gosh.
On that note.
Hey, let's talk about where's the best place you've been to while we have a few minutes, we're wrapping this segment up. What's your favorite place to go to a business conference at?
Anywhere. Is that a good answer?
Other than Nashville, Tennessee.
Listen, I love.
See, I can't do it.
I can love Nashville, Tennessee. Launch Tennessee does 3686, and they have them in the honky tonks. And like, to have my 59-year-old boss and my 29-year-old coworker out at the honky tonks together, and I kind of love it.
That's fun, but where I get is where people are like, "Oh, we want to go to Nashville," and I'm like, "Oh, no!" Like, no, I'm gonna go.
But you grew up in Tennessee, so is going to Nashville like have you overdone? You've done it so many times.
I just feel like people think it's this big scene, and I'm just like, well.
You want to go to
I want to go to other. I like other experiences. Maybe that's just me.
Well, I do. I
like Las Vegas.
In my previous life, I used to go to engineering conferences with a significant other, and I loved they'd have them at these resorts and just like these bougie, just awesome places.
See what I mean?
We went to Stowe, Vermont one time, and so we stayed in a ski lodge, and he was at a conference all day, so I could do what I wanted. I literally hiked from the ski lodge up to the highest point in Vermont. Took me like 8 hours in the day. I was like so freaking there's pictures of me like I thought I was like a mountain climber.
You can Google her.
Google it, Tiffany Anton. Actually, there's another Tiffany Anton that is not me. So don't. She does a side.
Maybe
job
that's a whole nother subject. Or
Googling yourself.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, stick around. We got Travis Bumbalough coming in to talk about our big picture segment.
Yeah.
So
right.
Thanks for keeping the seat warm, but you got to go.
All right.
This big picture segment of the show, very excited to have our guest on. Travis Bumbalough is here with us. So we're just going to talk about his story, kind of what he does in his day job, and then kind of just some business topics that have to kind of associate with your day job. Is that a good enough explanation to get us started?
Sounds great to me, man. Happy to be here. Happy to talk a little shop. Yeah, man. So I'm in the real estate industry. I am director of strategic growth is my title. I'm with Paramount Title, based out of Fairfield Glade. We have offices in Crossville, Cookeville, as well as Lenore City, just outside of Knoxville. Been here for about 8 or 9 months or so. Loving every minute of it so far. Spent a lot of time out in the community, and that's probably my favorite part, is getting plugged into all the different communities that, we're a part of. I'm a resident here in Cookeville, so it has a special place in my heart. But, being, like I said, being in local communities, being facing the people in those communities is my favorite part, and that's what I love about what I do.
Fantastic. So let's talk about how do we get from present day Travis?
Yeah.
Like let's do the rewind.
Yep.
And give me the story on how you got to where you're at now.
Cool, man. Yeah. So my mother's been in the title business for 100 years.
Yep.
So forever.
Helped us close on a house.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people know who Sheila is. Shout out Sheila Bumbalough, best mom of all time. She's been in the title business. She was 19. And so when I first started out in the business world, it made sense to go learn that business, right? It's what I grew up around. She'd pick me up from school. We'd go to a title office. I'd sit in the corner and she'd say, watch me work kind of thing. So perfect childhood. Right. So anyway, that's where I got my start in real estate and title specifically. So did that for a little bit, working alongside her. Enjoyed that, but I really wanted to do the whole corporate America thing, really cut my teeth on sales and marketing from that perspective in a corporate setting to learn their different structures and systems and just how that worked. Right. And so I got the opportunity to be the sales manager for First American Home Warranty for about 1.5 years. Grew business there about 1,000% or so in the first 1.5 years or so. And that kind of is what propelled me on to the rest of my career. So after that, I went to our sister company, First American Title, and was there for about 1.5 years. And then I felt like I learned what I needed to learn corporate-wise. And I wanted to take those lessons that I learned there about the different systems, structures, and how all of that worked, apply it to a smaller company. And that's kind of what led me back to Cookeville.
Gotcha.
Because when I took the First American Home Warranty job, I moved up in the Nashville area and was there for about 4 years or so. So it was a combination of things. Wanted to take that experience and bring it back to a smaller company, and wanted to come back home and be around family and friends, because I was the first person in my family to ever leave Cookeville. We all grew up on the same farm. First person to ever leave, and so it was good to come back home.
That's awesome. So let's talk about how we talk a lot of business on this podcast. Let's talk about maybe you're a business owner listening to the podcast.
Uh-huh.
How can you position yourself to either maybe to be acquired, or you want to merge, or let's talk about what a business owner needs to do to take the right steps to prepare their business for either one of those.
Absolutely. So me being a young professional still, I could speak to a little bit what I've done in the past, what's worked, what's not worked, stuff like that. But for me, one of the biggest priorities is expanding your connections always, expanding your relationships, meeting new people in your own industry and different industries. That's rule number one. I still spend probably 30% of my time reaching out, meeting new people, making those connections. And what that does, as you're meeting new people, as you go forward and you feel like you're ready for another opportunity, as a small business owner, whether that's a merger with another company or to be acquired or whatever that looks like for your company, you've made all these connections as you grow along, and that's where opportunity comes from, right? Gotcha. Is the relationships that you create and the connections that you make. Because you'll have conversations with these people and understand their needs, they'll understand your needs, and if something makes sense to do something business-wise, then a business deal is likely to be made.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would be some key steps if you're a business owner that you should be thinking of? Hey, maybe you've got some parents that own a business and you're working in it. What are some steps you think that they could take to maybe look at getting ready to be acquired by somebody? What's something in your world that you would be like, hey, these are the steps we need you to start looking at taking to get ready to be acquired? Yeah,
so I'll never claim to be the sharpest knife in the drawer. Definitely not the smartest guy. So what I've always done, and I relate anything back to this, whether you're looking to do something with your business, growing your business, whatever it looks like for you. If you ever have a question about anything, reach out to somebody you look up to in the industry that you're in, or something around the industry that you're in. Sit down with them and say, look, here's where we're at. Have you ever been here? If you have, what would you do? And what did you do in the past? And learn, there's a blueprint to success.
Oh, yeah.
And so look for that. If you look for it, you can find it. So whatever situation you're in, look for somebody that's been in a similar one that maybe is a little farther down the path than you are.
Perfect.
And ask those questions.
Perfect. So let's talk about the real estate market right now is crazy. I think everybody in the world knows that the real estate market is crazy. What are you seeing currently, and what do you see the next 2 to 5 years?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I mean, it's a hot topic right now. Yeah. I get asked all the time. So it's been historically hot for the last couple of years, right? You know, lots of buyers moving into the area. You know, Cookeville especially is a popular area. People listing their house, making all kinds of money in their house, right? Kind of what we're seeing recently, I feel like, is, you know, it's tapering off just a little bit, you know, cooling down just a little bit, if you will. But is that okay that it's cooling off? Yeah, it's okay. Because the thing is, you know, as hot as it's been for the last couple of years, it can't remain that hot for, you know, the next 7 to 10 years. Like, there's just no way to sustain that. So in my opinion, I knew we were going to see a little bit of a dip at some point, but I don't foresee a bubble popping by any means. I don't see it plummeting. I see it cooling off a little bit and kind of ebbing and flowing for the next 5 to 7 years or so. But I don't think we get to a point where it just plummets, especially in this area. I think it's going to be a really good market for quite some time. Yeah, I heard someone was talking about the other day. They had a couple they knew. They'd bid on like 16 different houses. Yeah, it's crazy. That's just insane. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I feel for buyers right now because they're kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place, right? Because when you buy, especially your first home, but any home that you're buying, whether you've had 10 homes, you know, that's one of the biggest financial investments you're going to make. Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, sometimes to get what you want, you've got to move pretty quickly. Yeah. So it's, you know, you're kind of stuck in the middle. And that's kind of the same thing in like I feel like in the business world too, a lot of people don't understand is sometimes in business, you have to move quick. Absolutely. You can't wait on certain things to happen. Well, let me see where this is at in 6 months. That's years in the business world because you have to move quickly. Things happen, things evolve. You've got to be out in front. Yeah, it's all about finding that fine line, right? Oh, yeah. It's, you know, do your due diligence, take your time, you know, understand what you're doing, but also make sure you're doing that, you know, relatively quickly. You know, once you've gone through your process and made a decision, get to that decision as quick as possible while still doing your due diligence. I love it. Can you talk to us about if you got a business buying a business, okay? Anything there you want to talk to as a points or anything that you saw in your previous roles where that could help us out? As far as maybe what are some things that if you got another business buying another business, what's just some things they can look at to be like, oh, let's talk about red flags. Yeah, so as far as, you know, any business goes, the first thing to look at is the people, right? Okay. You're not per se buying, you know, the business. Yeah, it's an important thing. You need to make sure it's a good business model. You know, it's going to be profitable. You've got good bones there, but really what it comes down to is, you know, people that are in that business. Because that, to me, in my opinion, that's what makes businesses. Gotcha. So that's the first thing I would look at is people sit down with them, talk to them about, hey, what do you like about, you know, the current situation? What do you not like? What would you change? What would you keep the same? And have those conversations with them. So that's what I would do first. Okay. So I noticed, like, I've watched you on social media and do some things. You ran the business over at the home warranty place, and I saw you do all different kinds of things on social media. If you got someone that owns a business and they're looking to be creative in marketing right now, what's some advice you would give them to do something? Because I saw you do some very creative things in marketing that I think that were very helpful. So let's just dive on some of your creativity. Yeah, man. So I think first and foremost, don't feel like you have to be perfect. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. That's the two biggest things to get over first. Other than that, you know, do what's true to you, do what you like, and just throw stuff out there, see what sticks, see what works, and just, you know, the important thing with that is being out there, being in front of people, because you're never going to do anything that's like people are going to look at and be like, oh my god, that dude, like, he's an idiot. Well, right? And that's what I tell people all the time, because I'm like, listen, you got to get on the TikTok train. I avoided it for so long, and then, you know, Facebook. I feel like Facebook's becoming MySpace. Yeah, and Instagram is going to what Facebook was, and then all this is evolving, and people are like, well, I don't like myself on camera. Nobody cares. Yeah. Like, the thing is, like, everybody would probably say that I don't like myself on camera, but I'll just get out there and do it. Like, it's a big deal. And just for perspective, you know, when I was in the home warranty world doing that, I dressed up as a wizard every day. I was the warranty wizard, right? And but it's stuck. It worked, because what happens with that, people remember you, you know, and people remember you by something. So, like, when they had that need, they needed a warranty. You know, who are they going to think of? That dude that dressed up as a wizard and was wild and crazy. That's why like Jake with State Farm has all that. Yeah, for sure. Geico has the Lizard. Progressive has Flow. They do all those things because you remember. You don't remember the company. You just remember the little things that they like. What do you call it? Some kind of messaging. Yeah.
I forgot. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Subliminal messaging. That's it.
yeah, it's all about being memorable and who are you going to remember, and that's the biggest thing with sales and marketing. And I think to answer your question more pointedly is don't overthink it.
Oh yeah, just do it.
Yeah, because this comes from a chronic overthinker. I tend to overthink stuff.
I think that's human nature.
Yeah, man, and I think you're right. But yeah, at the end of the day, just don't overthink it and just do it. And don't post something and then 10 minutes later check and see your likes. You don't have the number of likes that you want and immediately delete it.
Yeah, that's.
I know some of you out there do that.
Oh yeah, I know people do that. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming in, doing this segment with us. I got Travis Bumbalough here. We're talking just some business acquisitions, things you can do to get ready. It's been a great topic. But thank you so much for coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Stay tuned. All right.
Here
it's
we
our
go.
favorite time to
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
drink the Kool-Aid.
It's coffee this morning.
Oh, it is coffee. What kind do you have?
Pumpkin creamer coffee from
I did
the Biz Foundry.
Pumpkin spice. It was pumpkin spice coffee and some white chocolate.
Ooh.
Actually, I think I like a little more of my cream. I like coffee with my cream versus coffee.
I do it by the color. Like I like it would be inappropriate for me to say the color that I call it. So, don't call my HR department.
HR, if you're listening, we've got a good one. So,
drinking the Kool-Aid.
Drinking the Kool-Aid. We just had a great interview with Travis Bumbalough talking about business acquisitions and what to do. And so we thought with this segment, it's one that's I don't want to talk about, but we need to talk about because some people, let's face it, this is reality. Sometimes you got to throw the towel in.
Sometimes you.
And when's the best time to throw the towel in?
Well, and I think that we're going to come at this from different ways because I think recently we've discovered that I'm kind of the service dog of the Biz Foundry and I'm the emotional support animal. So I do care about like feelings and heart and I think you're going to come at it more financially and kind of the brain instead of the heart. And so I do think that I did an interview recently with somebody who sells meat in town and she doesn't it's a huge weight on her to run her business.
Right.
Feels bad. She doesn't like disappointing customers and it's heavy on her heart. And so she doesn't particularly enjoy it. And so when it kind of crosses over into your day-to-day life and weighing you down, then that's not worth it.
No, right. I agree. 1,000%. And as someone who has a side hustle that, some days I feel like I'm like, I just want to go home and do this, this, and this. And then, but you can't because you have your day job, which I love my day job. I get to come do stuff like this and help businesses grow. And do you think sometimes people throw the towel in too early because they get burnout? Do you think that because I felt like that before?
I think I don't think so. I think it's the opposite way. I think that people will overly burn themselves out and just keep going and going, and they're in the red month after month after month, and they're like, no, just one more month and we can get this going, and one more month and something will let up and it'll ease the floodgates or whatnot. But I think people push themselves farther, especially people who want to be an entrepreneur, small business owner. They have the drive and they don't know when to say no. That's super common.
Do you think some entrepreneurs get confused with drive versus stop? Like you should stop, or do you think they just push so much that they don't know when to stop?
Well, and I think part of it is like strategic planning,
right?
Of thinking, okay, let's figure out ways to work smarter instead of harder. And I think sometimes people just think, well, I have this goal that's, at the 50-yard line. And so I'm at the 10-yard line. I just need to go to the 50-yard line, not thinking, I just need to get to a first down.
Right.
I need to go the 10 yards and let me take a deep breath. Let me figure out what I'm doing.
I think that
for fall season in Tennessee, I think I may have props to me for my football analogy there.
It's a good one.
Not that I'm patting myself on the back or anything, but
I think that business owners sometimes. I was very aware of doing this once I stepped back and looked. I would compare my beginning to someone else's middle, and that was a force for me to be like, well, maybe I should quit because I'm not there yet.
Well, I think comparison could be a whole. Let me make a note.
You better make a note of that.
That's a whole nother topic of just in general.
So when do you think would be a good time to throw the towel in? When you can't have a good work-life balance? Because to me, that's. I think that you got to account for family and when it consumes you so much, you don't get that. maybe that's a strategic planning thing.
I think that the time to throw the towel in is not at your first hint of danger, not when you're feeling like, okay, I'm not getting the work-life balance, I don't have the balance I need. It's when you feel like you've exhausted all your options. So this is not a shameless plug, but a little bit, have I gone to the TSBDC? Have I gone to the Biz Foundry?
Have I gotten mentoring?
Have I reached out to somebody who's in their middle or near their end, and I've gotten help? But not just because I can't figure it out myself. I'm spinning my tires. Okay, I'm going to throw in the towel, because it's like you started for a reason, and remembering that why is really important.
I always try to tell people when they come to us, I can help you if there's some smoke. When it's a full-fledged, 3-alarm fire and it's already burning and we're just controlling it so it doesn't spread, I can't help you. If you start seeing some problems and some friction and some smoke starts showing, that's when I would encourage you, if you're listening to this is when you reach out. I try to get people to get help more quicker than what they think.
I think part of the problem is that people don't know when it's even starting to smoke. I think, how many people do you deal with that they can't tell you if they're making money each month or not?
Oh, I see that a lot. Because I will tell you, the problem is that people they don't create a business, they create a job for themselves. Mm-hmm. And they work so much in the business, they can't see the four walls on the outside. Mm-hmm. And I think that's when you have really good mentorship, will help you see past that and help you work on your business, not in your business. That's a whole nother, I think we even talked about that. But I think if you can step back and look, I think that would help a business owner determine, hey, this is the time to
and that stepping back and looking is a little bit of maybe having other people put the glasses on for you and having other people look. And I don't think it's a bad option to maybe quarterly, annually, something like that, have somebody else kind of look through things and look at maybe your finances and your books and look at just kind of, okay, what are your customers wanting, and look at it in a different way. Right. We've had happy hour events where we have people that don't necessarily just pitch, but talk about their idea or their businesses to get feedback from consumers. Everyone, not everyone is a consumer of everything, but everybody could possibly, be that consumer that you're looking for. And so just getting that feedback.
Or, I always like to have this when you have mentorships with other people in the business world, is with what you're doing, you never know where someone else could say, hey, I could come in and purchase your business and I could take it to the next level because I already have these connections. Mm-hmm. Or that's when you go back to merging. Hey, maybe I've got it to here, but I can't go to the next level, but you already have this, and this in place. And if we merged, it would just explode because.
Well, and I think it's that comes from the motivation and passion behind things. Mm-hmm. So if you really just care about, let's say you have a knee replacement device that you're working on, and you just care so much about that device, you just want it to be out in the public, in the market. You care that someday a medical book is gonna, that's gonna be the standard of care. If you have a clothing company that you're wanting to work one-on-one with people, well, even if somebody wants to come in and buy it, that your passion is you being able to work with people one-on-one.
Right. And not so much as in getting it out. You want to have your passion of working one-on-one. I really do. I think this is my opinion. I think a lot of times people either throw the towel in too early or too late. And I don't think there's anything wrong with
there's not a perfect time.
There's never a perfect time, but I feel like, I've had clients that come to me and it's like their whole business is on fire and it's falling in and there's not a whole lot. I can just help you mitigate certain damages.
Yeah.
But then I feel like I've had people come to me and they're like, well, I want out. And it's like their first big hiccup. I'm like, no, this is just part of the business. This is just being a business owner.
Do you think that there's people who aren't built for it though? So
yeah. It's kind of like, are there certain people that aren't built to be a nurse or a paramedic or something because they can't
run a marathon?
Or run a marathon. But certain people aren't built for just the, I think of paramedic or, they see all the gruesome stuff. Mm-hmm. And some people they love that stuff. Yeah. Some people, they have a drop of blood and they're in the corner.
Yeah.
I think certain people can't run a business because they get a little, a customer didn't like it.
Yeah, or just tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision.
You know,
yeah.
they can't see. There's a lot of hats you have to wear as a business owner.
Oh, yeah.
And so I say all the time, you're passionate about your one thing, but that doesn't mean you know marketing or numbers or you know how to develop strategic planning, all that kind of stuff.
I think that is also having the right people in your corner. I think that realizing your strengths and weaknesses and figuring out, hey, this is what you need to do, and I need to get the right people in my corner, I think can help you prevent you from throwing the towel in too early or too late. Or by having those people, they'll tell you when the right time to throw the towel in is. And it may just be, hey, you've got this business at a certain point. Have you thought about selling? Have you thought about exiting out and doing something different? Because now you've grown it to this, and so could easily take it and run with it. That's what I think.
Yeah.
What else are you thinking? I feel like you're gonna drop the hammer this morning.
I feel like there's a gavel over at the office, and I felt like we talked about bringing it over here, and gaveling.
That's when you'd be like auction. You like trying to auction businesses off
for sure. Yeah, that'd be good. So tell me something at the end of the day.
Okay.
Tell me something in the last month that has been good that you've been working on with the TSBDC. I'm totally putting you on the spot right now.
So we have come up with a very, I got a great coworker. She does fantastic.
Shout out Jody Pitts.
She has come up with a huge strategic plan. If you listen to podcasts or know me personally or have any interaction with me at all, you'll know like I'm definitely Enneagram number 7. Maybe that's on the topic we talk about. I'm very much a free spirited. I kind of go and I'm a go out and do things and big picture. She's very like all on point and things that have to be done, and so she wants
to move the needle.
Yeah, she likes moving the needle. Where I'm like, I like to blow stuff up.
Yeah.
You know? So we did a really big strategic plan. It's very precise. It kind of keeps me on track. Also, like, you know, we've done some other recordings. Like, I've had scripts. That is not like me. That's a big deal for me to have scripts.
Yeah.
Coming in prepared. I never come to these prepared. I just know what I want
to talk about. We have everything scripted out. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we don't script that out. Also,
we had a strategic meeting with Luke to like figure out the segments of this, and
which time for like another lunch as well. We also have Jody has taken my vision of the internship program at the TSBDC because I wanted to create like I wanted to create this like everyone wants an internship at the TSBDC like this, you know, the coveted internship. So because you work with multiple businesses. We've got 5 or 6 interns, and they work with multiple businesses just to give them different ideas, different real life business experience. I think that's important for kids who are in college coming out because there's so much of, you need to do this, and I'll be honest with you, most of the professors have never owned a business. And 2 of our interns, like the first week, they were like, I've learned more about business in these 2 weeks than I have in my entire career at college. And I was like, this is what I want to create.
Yeah.
So Jody's been fantastic about getting that implemented and started, creating an environment that allows young collegiate kids to get an insane amount of real world experience. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
So that's what's been happening last month. I mean, I think that's
pretty exciting.
What's happening at the Biz Foundry?
I personally have been really excited about working actually with the Development District. They have an Inspired grant, and so we're working with recovering addicts who want to start businesses. And actually, Jody and I have been working pretty closely, and this woman brought in her picture, and it has her mug shots of the past 10 years. She's been 3 years sober, and she's like, this is why I want to do this. This means a lot to me. And it's just, I love seeing her, you know, she
Passion.
got a bid for one of the jobs she had bid for, and just the fact that she's excited. You know, at first I kind of thought, are we forcing her into starting a business? And she definitely has a passion. So that's been really exciting to see.
It kind of gives you your why of why you go to work every day.
For sure.
So as we wrap up this segment, let's do some crazy business statistics. Small businesses employ blank percentage of the country's private workforce.
97%.
57%.
That's so low.
It does sound kind of low, doesn't it?
Yeah. So what did the other 40?
They probably work in like public sector. Small businesses pay blank percentage of U.S. payroll. Now, keep in mind, small businesses are
500 employees
or
less. The payroll. 67.
44%.
Go and hide
What's
it.
crazy is a couple of states rely heavily on small businesses.
Tennessee is one of them. 98%, right? It's something like
Actually, it's not. It's Montana and Wyoming.
Are the
Those
top
are the
two?
two? The top two.
that. Really? I thought Tennessee was.
They're probably in top 10.
Yeah.
Oh, this is very interesting stat. It takes 6 days to start a business in the U.S. compared to a whopping blank number of days in China. We'll finish up with that one. How many days does it take to start a business?
What does that mean? Like,
I mean, I feel like here you could start a business like overnight.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
but in China, it takes.
You just get on Facebook and say, "Hey, I'm selling stuff." Isn't that how it works? In China, 27 days.
38 days.
Wow.
That's a lot. I mean, I feel like here, if you want to start like a lawn care business, you can go out and get a business license and some insurance, and then get you a bank account. Within 2 days, you'd probably be ready to mow some yards.
Yeah, I wonder where that 6 days came from.
I don't know.
So.
Obviously, that did not come to the TSBDC because we'd get you in and out quicker than
That's
6
right.
days. So, hey, shout out to our fearless leaders, Mark Farley.
And Jeff Brown.
Thanks for letting us do that.
Hanging
Stick
out.
around, like, subscribe, share, leave us some comments.
Tell your grandma.
Yeah, I mean, tell somebody about this show. We have too much
Cashin
fun.
The Check.